Let the magic begin.
Not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine.
It's not so much a theme park as a state of mind, a Hollywood that never was and will always be.
Ready when you are, CB!
This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Here now, the news for February 9th, 2024. After the Walt Disney Company released their Q1 fiscal year 2024 earnings report on Wednesday, Disney's stock price jumped over 12% to its highest price in a year. As of noon on Thursday, the stock price for Disney was at $111.32. It closed at $99.14 the day before. The last time Disney stock was over $111 was this day last year on February 8th of 2023. It closed at $111.78 per share. On October 4th of 2023, Disney stock had fallen all the way to $79.32, its lowest price since February 7th of 2014, when it was $75.67. The all-time high for Disney stock was $201.91 on March 8th of 2021. In the earnings report, Disney reported $6.3 billion in domestic revenue for parks and experiences and $23.5 billion in overall revenue. All the theme parks were profitable in this quarter, and CEO Bob Iger teased so many untapped stories that could be incorporated into the parks given all these signs of growth. Disney also reiterated their intention to invest $60 billion in parks and experiences, with 70% going to increased capacity efforts. Now, what does increased capacity efforts mean? I mean, that could be a lot of things, but it definitely means lands and attractions, right? That's the best way to add capacity to a park. The more things there are to do, the more space there is to hold people, the more capacity you have, the more people you can allow in at a comfortable, and it still be comfortable and enjoyable, right? So that's what they mean by that. Again, we're still not getting specifics, but as you guys know, they like to keep a lot of these big announcements for D23, and we're just a couple months away, in fact, 6 months away from D23 in August. So, they keep teasing this. I would suspect we are 6 months away from a boatload of very interesting announcements. Speaking of announcements, Iger surprise announced that Moana 2 is coming to theaters this November. Percy Jackson and the Olympians was renewed for a second season on Disney Plus as well. The streaming service will also be the exclusive home to Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour, Taylor's version. I don't know who else's it would be, including songs cut from the theatrical and digital releases. Iger also confirmed other upcoming film releases, and the Disney Plus subscriber count did drop again, but no one seemed to care. I guess analysts finally are taking the focus off of streaming services. It's not that important, it turned out. But Iger also announced Disney invested $1.5 billion into Epic Games and had entered a strategic partnership with the Fortnite developers to create a new universe with a multitude of opportunities for consumers to play, watch, shop, and engage with content, characters, and stories from Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, Avatar, and more. This is our first good sign for the company in quite some time, and I think it makes sense. I think, look, I read the comments, obviously, and there's a lot of you who are still, I think, in an angry place with the company, but there does always seem to be this lag, right? I remember when Bob Chapek got the job at Parks and Resorts, we saw some pretty immediate signs that things were not great, but there was a lag between those signs and when we started to get the actual larger product that would be what the parks were during his time there, right? So I remember there was a period where we were very actively complaining on this channel, and a lot of you were feeling differently, right? Then eventually everyone caught up, right? And I think we're in that again, right? We're a little, we're closing in on a year and a half since that regime change, and things are, I think, starting to go in the right direction, right? They have a long way to go. The studio is kind of in shambles. But Parks and Resorts seems to be not only hanging in there, but starting to thrive again, which is a good sign. And they are going to throw that $60 billion number in your face over and over, which means they're pretty serious about doing it. This is not some Disney decade announcement where they're going to take the rug out from under us on this $60 billion, I think. So I think it's going to be an exciting time. I think we're starting to see the turnaround. I think it is, it's a giant mega corporation. 12 to 16 months, I think it is very hard to very quickly create meaningful change in a large corporation. But look, compared to what we lived through for, those 7 or 8 years, I think that it is night and day, right? Look, there's still plenty of things to fix. I totally agree. But it's hard for me to be upset or angry or rant, honestly, when you see people are making the effort, right? As opposed to when I would sit here and rant and rave, for 20 minutes, it's usually because not only were things going poorly, but it looked like no one cared, right? But there are enough people in enough places in the Walt Disney Company who clearly are trying to turn this thing around that it's hard to be upset. Now, look, that could all change. They could certainly make some decisions with that $60 billion or these other changes they're making that are not great. But we'll wait and see. But I think the signs are all there that things are turning around, and I'm gonna hold out and sit and wait. I know someone, there'll be plenty of people that comment, "Oh, you're on the media list now, so now you're all nice and happy," and blah 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 blah. That's dumb. It's just dumb, right? Like the media list is it's nice to be on good terms with the Walt Disney Company because we cover them for a living, but there is no benefit to me changing who I am and not being honest with you. There's no benefit there. I'm going to continue to be honest. If that means we're on the list, it means we're off the list. It doesn't matter, right? Because I'm still going to be here. You're still going to be there. It doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't hurt to have a positive relationship with them, but at the same time, we're still going to be honest. And this is honestly, how I feel about things at the moment, right? Look, there's plenty to fix, but we're heading in the right direction. At least it seems. The Walt Disney Company released a list of upcoming Disney parks and experiences projects planned to open through the fiscal year of 2026. The list was, of course, part of that earnings presentation. It's not exhaustive, but highlights experiences that Disney thinks will be important to investors, at least. Of course, on June 6th of 2024, we have the opening of Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Resort, Disney Sea. June of 2024 will be Disney Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, the new destination for Disney Cruise Line. July 1st of 2024 is the opening of the Disney Vacation Club cabins at Fort Wilderness Resort, which I will tell you, I'm still going to be negative about those. I don't like them. December 21st, 2024 is the Disney Treasure Maiden Voyage for Disney Cruise Line. Late 2024 will be the Disney Vacation Club at Polynesian Resort. So this tower, another thing I'm not going to be necessarily positive about. They had told us originally 2024, and then they stopped mentioning it for a while, which led us to believe it was going to be later. And now they're back to saying it's later this year. So this is kind of a change. 2024 will also bring us Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and the new Star Tours, Characters and Stories at, again, Disneyland, Disney World, and also Disneyland Paris. This year we'll also see the opening of Communicore Hall and Plaza at EPCOT. Story Living by Disney will open next year, its first development, Cotino. In fiscal year 2025, the Disney Adventure will operate in Southeast Asia. That's a new ship for Disney Cruise Line. And in 2026, they've said the third Wish-class ship will launch for Disney Cruise Line. Of course, that class includes the Wish and the Treasure. That is the ship, the third ship in that fleet. If you're wondering how the Adventure fits in, well, it doesn't, because it's a ship they bought that was already being constructed. Of course, also opening this year is the Country Bear Musical Jamboree at Magic Kingdom and The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and potentially that new grounds expansion at Disneyland, but none of those were mentioned in that presentation. Disney has begun to prepare for the 2024 EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival with the Tinkerbell Topiary, the Prehistoric Garden, and more. The Tinkerbell Topiary has been installed for Tinkerbell's Fairy House Garden. Say that 5 times fast. This garden is next to Yorkshire County Fish Shop in the UK Pavilion. In addition to the topiary, the garden will feature small fairy houses. Peter Pan, Captain Hook, and Tick-Tock Croc will eventually be in topiary form between the UK and Canada pavilions. They're not there yet. The Prehistoric Garden is in World Discovery near Mission Space. The garden features plants that have existed since the prehistoric era. Large bowl-shaped planters display the prehistoric plants, and there are also small dinosaur figures tucked into each planter for extra theme. The Butterfly Landing, presented by Advent Health, is under construction behind Green Scrim in World Nature. It's located between Imagination and the Land. Guests will be able to view various species of butterflies inside a tent. Of course, the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival runs from February 28th through May 27th of 2024. Disney's Typhoon Lagoon water park will reopen on March 17, 2024, and Disney's Blizzard Beach water park will be closed beginning the same day. Disney's Blizzard Beach reopened on November 9th, while Typhoon Lagoon closed for the season. The park used to operate simultaneously, the two of them actually, but they have alternated openings since the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020. And while one park is closed, the other is refurbished. That's going to continue. I know people keep asking, when are we going to get two water parks at once? Well, you're not, unless you travel the day before. You could do Blizzard Beach and then you could open Typhoon the next day. That's the only answer I have for you, is to come during those transition weeks if you want to see both of them at the same trip. But yeah, they're gonna keep doing this. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. They could plan a trip where you could see both water parks open. Head over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and the team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is, their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. 1900 Park Fair at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa will reopen finally after 4 years on April 10th, 2024. 1900 Park Fair has not operated since all of Walt Disney World closed in March of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was briefly used as overflow seating for the Grand Floridian Cafe. We learned a year ago that it would remain closed for refurbishment. Prior to 2020, the restaurant was a buffet featuring Cinderella characters, and Alice in Wonderland characters also appeared during the Wonderland Tea Party event. Some different characters will appear when the restaurant returns. Reservations for 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian will open on March 5th, and the updated character dining experience will include new characters and costumes. It'll feature returning guest favorites along with a newly refurbished dining room and other special touches. The refreshed character dining experience will feature appearances by Aladdin in his Prince Ali outfit, Cinderella, Mirabelle, and Tiana in her Tiana's Bayou Adventure outfit. And the characters will celebrate the power of a wish. 1900 Park Fair will be open for breakfast and dinner with a buffet that includes the classic strawberry soup and new menu offerings that pay tribute to the characters appearing at the restaurant. Big Bertha, the antique organ that has been at the Grand Floridian since 1988, will be in the main dining room still. The restaurant will still feature carousel theming as well, including a new mural, which is the one you're looking at now, which will be at the entrance. The main dining room will feature 12 new portraits created exclusively for the restaurant by Disney artists. Each one features a different Disney character as they hope, dream, and wish upon a star, or even a magic lamp or a wishing well. They're inspired by the Impressionist art style of the late 19th and early 20th century. Adjoining dining room will feature drawings of carousel animals inspired by classic Disney films, including Alice in Wonderland and The Little Mermaid. Again, reservations will open March 5th for that April 10th opening. It's so nice to finally see this happening, and I'm optimistic about the refreshed interior. It sounds like they heard what we've been saying for the last couple of years about, please don't make our hotels bland. And so the carousel theme's going to carry through. Big Bertha's still going to be there. The character list is weird. I mean, I can't argue that, but I certainly think there are families that will want to meet those 4 characters. We'll see how it goes over. Characters are always easy to change if not, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see this. Cast members at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort are now handing out free stickers for the resort's new Disney Vacation Club accommodations. The cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort are receiving, of course, a DVC makeover. They're brand new cabins, which are DVC units, set to open beginning on July 1st of 2024. The new circular stickers feature Chip and Dale lounging on the ground in the wilderness of the Fort Wilderness Resort. The logo for the cabins is at the top, while the Disney Vacation Club wordmark is at the bottom. Notice they don't show the cabins on it. They decided to leave them off. Yeah, so anyway, there you go. They're free stickers if you want one at Fort Wilderness. I'm sure they're going to be giving these out at all the Vacation Club kiosks soon. The new A Million Splashes of Color Parade and Show debuted one day early at Disneyland Park at Disneyland Paris, and a video was shared online, which you could view on our website. The show is part of the Disney Symphony of Color celebration, which began a month ago with the premiere of the Disney Electrical Sky Parade drone show, inspired by the Electrical Parade. Disney Symphony of Colors and A Million Splashes of Color are set to continue through September 30th. A Million Splashes of Color uses a combination of 2 original scores and a mashup of Disney and Pixar songs like The Bare Necessities from The Jungle Book, We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto, and You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. The parade floats are inspired by the core elements of Disney and Pixar animation storytelling, which are art, music, and writing. The parade dancers have special costumes for the parade, with colorful swirls of paint appearing to take over the black and white outfits. Mickey and Minnie also have new colorful costumes, and they're joined in the parade by various animated characters, including Snow White, Timon, Judy Hopps, and Mirabelle. The parade stops in front of Le Château de la Belle au Bois Dormant, or Sleeping Beauty Castle, for the approximately 15-minute show. Again, you can watch it all at WDWNT.com. Real quick, before we get to our next story, I want to plug a couple things. I want to thank you, so many of you who are supporting our beloved dinosaur Gertie plush, which is available now at this link. Right there, it is a pre-order. They're not shipping until May, just in time for Gertie's 35th birthday at Disney's Hollywood Studios, as of course we're celebrating that park's anniversary in a big way this year at WDWNT. Pick up, pre-order your Gertie now, and she'll ship to you as soon as she's ready now. We have sold over half of them already, and when they're gone, they're gone. So please go grab one if you want one. A lot of love and care went into this, and I love it. It's very huggable. It's very sweet. So go pick that up. Also, I want to mention Stage 89, which is our event celebrating 35 years of Disney's Hollywood Studios, where we will have several Imagineers who created the great movie ride Superstar Television Monster Sound Show, and of course, celebrating its 30th anniversary, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. You can get your in-person tickets at Stage89.com. You could also get your streaming ticket at Stage89.com. The streaming ticket is currently a special offer until March 15th. 50% off, so it's only $10, and you can stream the event live when it happens in early May, and also you can enjoy it until June 5th. It will continue streaming for you with that streaming ticket. All proceeds for this event go to Give Kids the World, a great local charity here in the Orlando area. So again, Stage89.com if you want to join us either in person or streaming. I tell you, it will be the event of a lifetime. If you love Tower of Terror, great movie ride, or that park in general, you do not want to miss this. And last but not least, I got to say thanks to our friends at Park Candy, who provided this awesome Oogie Boogie inspired shirt for today. Check them out at this link. And if you use the code WDWNT, you'll save 15% on your entire order. They don't only have shirts for me and for men. They have shirts for everybody, but also dresses, handbags, purses, bottle openers, all sorts of great stuff. So check them out at this link. And if you support them, you support us. We get a cut of every sale. So thank you for doing that. Tokyo Disney Resort has announced new details about the Celebrating Space Mountain, The Final Ignition, which honors the current version of Space Mountain at Tokyo Disneyland, which will close forever on July 31st. Celebrating Space Mountain, The Final Ignition will begin on April 9th and end when Space Mountain closes on July 31st. A new version of Space Mountain is already under construction and set to open in 2027. During the event, guests will be able to get special Space Mountain stickers in Tomorrowland. Guests will not have to ride the ride to get them either. A banner reading The Final Ignition will decorate the entrance to Space Mountain until it closes. As well, photographers will be able to take guest photo at the Space Photo Place, inspired by the current iteration of the ride. A concept rendering of the photo op, including a ride vehicle in front of a space background with the Final Ignition logos, which you're looking at now. Photo op times will be available in the Tokyo Disney Resort app. What a cool photo op. I love that. The Final Ignition merchandise will incorporate elements of both the current and upcoming versions of the attraction. Merchandise will be available beginning on April 8th. A preview image shows items with a spacey all-over pattern or an image of Space Mountain lit with rainbow light. The previewed items include a pouch for 2,900 yen, a drawstring bag for 900 yen, a tumbler for 2,500 yen, the tissue box cover is 2,800 yen, and a clear file folder for 350 yen. As part of Tokyo Disney Resort's Circulating Smiles program, a badge keychain made of upcycled Space Mountain cast member costumes will be available for 3,500 yen. The badge resembles the cast member costume shirt with Space Mountain embroidered across it. As well, special menu items will be available beginning on April 1st. At Tomorrowland Terrace, guests can enjoy the Coca-Cola and lemon vanilla sparkling jelly drink for 700 yen. Salted popcorn will be available in special boxes featuring the Final Ignition logo, Space Mountain, and the astronaut Mickey Mouse for 400 yen. And according to the Tokyo Disney Resort website, these popcorn boxes will be available at the Popcorn Wagon near Treasure Comet, but the press release stated they'll also be available at popcorn wagons throughout the park, including those in Tomorrowland. The Celebrating Space Mountain, the Final Ignition Premium Suite Set will be available at the Hyperion Lounge at the Disney Ambassador Hotel. The plate full of sweets is themed to outer space with dishes inspired by planets. It'll be available from June 10th through July 31st from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It is 5,800 yen. And as well, a special Disney Resort Line Day Pass for the monorail featuring astronaut Mickey and the Celebrations logo will be available beginning on April 8th. Note that day passes may sell out or sales may be discontinued at any time. This is, look, I hate this Space Mountain. Let me go on the record. Look, I love Tokyo Disney so much. There are two things in that park I despise, and only two things I really dislike. One of them is Space Mountain. The other one is the Stitch Tiki Room. I'm sorry, Jake, but the Stitch Tiki, I hate the Stitch Tiki Room with every fiber of my being. But yeah, that's, like, it's dated. It's super dated. Even though they did an update like a decade ago or so, it's super dated. It's not very fun. And every time I ride the Disneyland one in Anaheim, I'm like, they updated this right. Now, that being said, I think what they're going to do with the new Space Mountain is tremendous, and I think no one is living up to Walt's dream more than Tokyo to see like an opportunity to do a new cool thing and just be like, you know, one of the most iconic attractions in the history of Disney parks, we're going to bulldoze it and build it over again. That's incredible. That's fantastic. But also like to honor it in this way, to know that people care and to give it this kind of a send-off. Look, I know this is someone loves this attraction, and this is somebody's favorite. This is amazing. I don't even like this ride, and I want to take part in this. Like, this makes me excited to be a part of the farewell because it's such a cool celebration. And I wish we did more of this for could you imagine if like the Great Movie Ride or stuff like that at Disney World had this kind of goodbye? That would have been fantastic. Also, Disney, you would have made a bunch of money by doing this. So please emulate this in the future. But I'm excited for this celebration. It looks cool, even if I don't like the ride. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss and Gertie the dinosaur saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.